Hello, Lennon.
Hi, that's me.
So, for our listeners at home or wherever you are, you might be, outside or...
Well, you're not in this room with me right now. I can tell you that much for free.
For our people listening abroad, so my co-host today, Lennon, is a big burly boy, is big and strong. Would you say you're very strong, maybe even overpowered?
I'm a barrel-chested man, but I don't know if I could count myself as being overpowered, especially because I'm still recovering from surgery. But yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, sure.
Perfect. So as you're still recovering from surgery, you are overpowered but useless, and that's what we are looking at today.
Damn it.
Walked right into that one, buddy. No, today we are looking at cinematic characters who are overpowered but ultimately useless somehow. Basically just characters that, they've got all the things to make them able to solve a plot in seconds or do whatever they really want.
Do fucking nothing with it. Just
dumb
absolutely
dick
fucking
bags,
nothing.
just horrible. There's going to be a lot of swearing in this one, I think.
Oh, okay, sorry, my bad.
Lennon, no. I'm happy with that. Lennon, we've both got, as these things normally go, me and Lennon both have 5 picks each. We might agree on some, we might not agree. You might have 10 picks, you might have 5 picks. But today, I want to check out Lennon's first pick for most overpowered but still useless cinematic characters.
Yeah, check it out, bro. Okay, well, I was thinking with this isn't a movie, this is a YouTube video. This isn't a beach, this is a bathtub. But anyway, so I was thinking to myself, the first one that came to mind was John Krasinski's Mr. Fantastic from Multiverse of Madness, or more specifically, the Illuminati. So everyone was clamoring for Reed Richards' appearance in that movie, and
wanted him to play it. He was fan cast for years.
Everyone was begging for that fan casting, and we finally got it. And he's introduced as the smartest man alive in the universe. And basically, as we all know, the very first thing that he does when facing Wanda, who is on an absolute rampage, he explains exactly how his teammate can kill her. And it's so fucking stupid. And he doesn't use his brain, like he's basically his superpower in the movie whatsoever. She immediately just takes everyone out. We get like a glimpse of his stretchy arm power as he's like reaching out to her, and she just fucking turns him to ribbons straight away.
It turns into spaghetti.
Absolute fodder. And I get it. It's kind of like played off as a bit of a joke. Like, she absolutely wipes out the whole team immediately. And that scene itself was so entertaining. But as far as Reed Richards goes, that has got to be like the dumbest portrayal of Reed Richards in any movie so far. What do you think?
Yeah, I 100% agree. Considering he does nothing but ruins their best chance and then immediately turns into an Italian dish. Yeah, horrible version of Mr. Fantastic. All right, moving on with that theme, I guess. Now, this technically is a 2-for-1 for my first pick.
Ooh, okay.
But, Len, I'm just going to throw a question your way. What do you think is one of the most overpowered superpowers that a character can have?
Invincibility.
Damn it. It's not that. It's super speed. I'm thinking about super speed, baby.
I was going to either go that or invisibility, but okay, yeah, sure.
That's not... But, okay, we disagree heavily. That could be a whole different video.
I ruined your question. I'm so sorry.
To be honest, crazy for me to expect you to think super speed straight away. But super speed, I'm looking at Quicksilver, both in Age of Ultron and also in the X-Men films. He is nerfed in every single one of these. So I'll just quickly look at the X-Men one because I don't think it's as serious, but basically in each of those X-Men films that Quicksilver appears in, he does a crazy feat of super speed that's not related to the final battle or the main problem. It's like, saving all the X-Men from the mansion blowing up. But then when it comes to the final battle, he is off the table. He is either injured incredibly quickly, like I think in Dark Phoenix, his leg gets injured when Jean Grey blows him back or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's never really helpful for someone that could probably solve the movie in literally an instant. But that's not the one that I really want to look at. The one I really want to look at is Age of Ultron Quicksilver. Another question for you, Lennon. I really hope you answer correctly. This is a test. Get your book out. What do you think is a feat that almost every speedster can outrun? What's a fast object normally fired from something? I'm really helping you out here. That every speedster in fictional history could probably move quicker than.
Superman?
What?
No, a bullet.
Yeah, a Superman gun. Yeah. So he dies after he gets shot to shit by Ultron firing those bullets out of that thing. he definitely, I swear he has some more impressive speed feats within this movie. It is so dumb that he was a human shield. He could have easily moved Hawkeye and that kid. Like, nations away. All right, that's me. I just hate how Quicksilver's used in these movies. But Lennon, what is your second pick?
Well, speaking of Age of Ultron and I guess by extension Infinity War, another character that I was thinking of was
Heavy
Vision.
extension. Oh, yeah, good pick.
Because I think that with Vision, he is built up to basically being like an extension of Ultron, like the perfect version, or he was intended to be the perfect version of what Ultron was, and he had all of this data and information carried down from Jarvis as well. And he is set up to be able, he can phase through matter, fly, he can lift cities, he can fire energy beams and instantly kill enemies by phasing through them. And there's multiple times where he does that with cannon fodder enemies, and that's cool. But when it comes to like the grander scale, he is always just there as, oh, we could potentially use him, but we don't. And in Infinity War, he instantly gets injured and stabbed by a Corvus Glaive, and he's just taken out basically for the rest of the film. He has to like recover for the rest of the film. I feel like that was
phasing, which would have really come in handy when Thanos is trying to rip a stone out of your head.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I think that was a plot device to, it's like, okay, we have this insanely powerful person. How do we take him out so that way?
That's the problem, though. I do find that frustrating. It's the same problem I had with Quicksilver. It's like, this guy could solve the movie instantly. How do we take him off the board?
They have to be nerfed. Yeah, it's like they have to be nerfed so that way the rest of the movie can happen. And I feel like you were saying with Quicksilver, that's exactly what happened with Vision. Like in Civil War, is constantly either having a distraction, inner turmoil, or he's just straight up taken out. And that's why he doesn't get utilized as he is sold to us in Age of Ultron. So that's my second pick. I would love to hear your second pick.
Oh my God, you care. Well, my second pick is literally the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy. He has a small army's worth of weaponry and is literally introduced to us as a guy that has a problem with not disintegrating people. I'm talking about Boba Fett.
Of course.
Dude, he dies by accident. He dies by accident in his first fight we really see him in. I mean, obviously they've extended the lore past this point, but for generations, for years, I remember when I was a kid, I used to think this guy was the coolest guy, and it's just on pure aura farming alone. Like, it has nothing to do with his feats. He's worthless. He's his fodder. It's one of the earliest examples I can think of a character just being gassed up to be, I mean, for a character that has no force sensitive abilities, he is the man, apparently.
He's been shown, I think, especially in Empire Strikes Back, to be someone who is ruthless and tenacious and will use his equipment to get what he wants and what he needs done. And
then he gets bounced in the back.
Immediately. Immediately.
I think that's part of the reason why ever since that he's been constantly like in extended lore, like before Disney bought Lucasfilm, he's always been, and then obviously in the Disney Plus show, he's always been told to like come back, because I think everyone knows that we weren't given enough Boba Fett, because god damn, what a badass dying of such a sucky way. All right, well, Lennon, let me at your third pick.
My next pick is also within Star Wars, and that is Palpatine, but more specifically, Palpatine from the Rise of Skywalker. And the only reason why I'm saying this here is because he has clone bodies, he has a hidden Sith cult, he has a fleet of planet-killing Star Destroyers, he is incredibly OP. He has the ability, dude, to disable thousands of ships with just one beam of Force lightning in the air, and basically he struggles with learning from his past mistakes because he is shooting lightning at Rey, she just reflects it back at him, and he doesn't have this moment of reflection of being like, I think I've been here before in a previous movie. He just dies again.
This exact thing has happened to me before.
Yeah, this is really weird. I'm getting a weird sense of deja vu here. I couldn't possibly. I think what I should do is I should double down and just shoot my lightning out of my fingertips even harder, because surely that is going to be the solution this time around.
If at once you don't succeed, try again, and then Emperor Palpatine to a
You know what? I can't fault him for being a tenacious son of a bitch. Like he's nothing if not predictable. But I think that it's not that he lacks power; it's just that he lacks restraint. And Oh god, when I first saw this in the movies, I was already shocked and appalled by the state of the movie, but by the time we get to the end, Rey's just literally like, how about 2 lightsabers? And then she just like deflects it back onto Palpatine even harder, and then he's just like, oh no, I couldn't have foreseen this. I'm dead, bye. And then like that's it. Like,
and to add to the useless nature of Palpatine, especially in the sequel trilogy, what does he actually achieve? Because like all the achievements of the First Order are mainly done by, well, I guess Snoke was an extension of him, but it's Kylo and General Hux. Like, what does Palpatine actually do? At least in the original trilogy, he is in charge of, you know, the Death Stars, and he's actually shown to be in this prequel trilogy. He overtakes, yeah, like he actually does stuff. Whereas in this one, he's just like, I'm here now. I'm dead now. Like,
hi, it's me. It's somehow I've returned. It's the 9th movie. Hi, goodbye.
All right, my next one, keeping with our little alien theme. Now, my next 3 picks are all actually set up to be gods of sorts. Now, this one is probably the weakest form of these god characters, but still, they are humanity's creators in a way. I'm talking about the engineers from Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
Oh, that's such a good pick. I didn't even think of that.
Excellent. I thought for a second you were going to say because you had it. All right, cool. The engineers, they're literally set up to be this interplanetary, you know, life-seeding race of aliens. They're literally, as you go through it, they're creating bioweapons that can destroy planets. And yet, like, okay, in Prometheus, he is killed off immediately because he doesn't really do much. He just sort of chases people around. He rips David's head off and then carries on his way to get absolutely murked by a big tentacle monster, which you would think that this race would, I don't know, have experimented a little bit more with it, by understand the threats and things that can happen. He just sort of looks like an idiot and then gets absolutely clocked by this thing. Even worse. And I wouldn't be surprised if you don't really remember this, because it's a blink and you'll miss it moment in the sequel, but in Alien Covenant, David goes to a planet of these guys. Now, the space jockeys and the engineers and all that in the Alien franchise, I always got the idea that they were super advanced. I always got the idea that they have these huge ships, they've got these space costumes, they're doing all this crazy stuff across the universe, they're creating, you know, xenomorphs and da-da-da-da-da. You know, and like, you know, in some versions of canon in the Predator universe, wherever that canon lies, you know, there is interplanetary species, but these guys seemed top of the tier. Then, when David goes to their planet, they're living in huts and stuff. Like, they completely nerf their whole culture, and they get destroyed within seconds by their own weapon that they have no defenses against. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous how powerful a character that engineers could have been within this universe. Just to what do they do in these movies, you know?
It's interesting because in Prometheus, you're 100% right. They set it up as if they were basically the ones that created us, and they're this really technologically advanced species and really intelligent and all that stuff. But for the whole movie, it just felt like the engineer, specifically that one engineer who's, by the way, hella jacked. What happened to them in Covenant? They just look like just a bunch of like middle-aged old men, like that are really pale, versus
that
like
happens in humanity too. There's some super jacked ones, me. There's some real pale ones, you.
He's basically chasing the humans around, and then obviously the big tentacle alien facehugger thing gets him at the end. But it just felt like they didn't really show them in action doing that much thinking. It's just like acting on instinct, and it felt very animalistic rather than intelligent. So
yeah, and what a way to go out just to turn into fodder for your creation's creation. Like, they don't even get taken out by humans, they get taken out by David, and he just aura farms some sort of speech over the top of their planet as he wipes them out. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, Lennon, your 4th pick, I believe.
Okay, so for my 4th pick, I've picked 4 Jedi from the Jedi Council from Revenge of the Sith.
Interesting.
I know that Mace Windu is one of them. I know that Kit Fisto is one of them. Also know that one of them has some horns on his head.
I know the exact same.
The Jedi Council, all Jedi Masters, by the way, go to arrest Chancellor Palpatine under the suspicion and the tip that he is, well, Emperor Palpatine. He's the big bad, and he is behind everything. And they just get fucked up within seconds. It's like these Master Jedi that have been fleshed out through, you know, the Clone Wars and that really cool Clone Wars anime in the style of Samurai Jack. Like, they've got so much incredible, like, extended lore and incredible technical feats. They just go down within like one hit each, basically.
And then to get to the movie, and the end of these characters, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? It's like the first time in the live action movie movie that we really properly see them in action. It's just like, oh, what's that over there? I'm just going to look over to this corner while, you know, old man Palpatine is just like lunging and pulling faces at us while he's lunging at us. It's just so disappointing, dude. This build up of being able to finally see them in action, these Jedi Masters, just fucking squandered. So that immediately came to mind when I was like talking about Palpatine before. I'm like, oh my God, there's so many examples of this in the Star Wars series.
It's because
people
the
who've
Star
got all
Wars
this
lore
power
has-
but just don't use it properly.
Yeah, it's because the Star Wars lore has got so convoluted, and so like everyone has to have their aura farming moments. It's like the power scaling makes no sense when you really dig into it.
Dude, there's a guy whose name is Fisto. Like, he doesn't
He
even
should be
do anything.
fisting everyone.
He doesn't even punch the Emperor. What the fuck?
I find it crazy that when we're making this list, you have Palpatine on here twice, both being the overpowered but useless character, but also being the guy that takes out even weaker.
The Star Wars universe is such a rich tapestry of lore and characters, and it's really incredible how within the saga you can have someone who has reached the peak or the summit of the mountain of lore, and then they've also fumbled and stumbled all their way down to the bottom of the mountain. You know, it's really beautiful.
Everything rhymes in the Star Wars universe. All right, well, if you don't mind, I'm going to move on to my fourth pick.
Sure.
My fourth pick is Dr. Manhattan from the Watchmen movie, specifically.
Ooh,
yes.
okay.
Now, Dr. Manhattan, I mean, he is quite literally an omnipotent, omniscient god.
Omnipotent?
Is that not what I said? Oh shit, I'm dyslexic, I can't speak. But he is, let's just say, a god. I'm going to try to get out of all the big words. But Dr. Manhattan is a god. Realistically, I mean, his most impressive feat in his movies is multiplying himself so he can have sex really well.
Say his blue dong, just like hanging out there.
Not actually that impressive. Should fluff it up a little bit in between takes, just whenever someone's not looking at him. But no, he is a god. He can see all of time. And yes, I understand that Ozymandias is using tachyon stuff to block, you know, him reading the future and da-da-da-da-da. But you would think that Dr. Manhattan would also sort of go, okay, Ozymandias is the one guy that I can't really see the mind of. Maybe he's stopped doing something. Or like, you would think that someone, I get, is disconnected from reality or humanity, but there's still so many options for a character this powerful, and that's the problem, I guess, with I do love, as I've said this to you before, the Watchmen comic is one of the best comics, and it's regarded as one of the best comics of all time. I personally love the Watchmen movie as well, which was previously thought of as impossible to adapt into a movie. Very happy with the movie. But when you really stop and think about it, especially under the guise of overpowered characters who are still useless, it's a big risk to introduce a character that is this strong into a universe of just effectively a lot of Batman, you know, a lot of people that just punch and kick and all that. So it's just a bit ridiculous to me that this literal god can't put a pin in Ozzy, because remember, the end of this movie, Ozymandias' plans go by uninterrupted. His plans are laid out. By the time that the final showdown happens, his plans have already happened. And Dr. Manhattan does nothing. He's just like, well, yeah, I guess I agree because I have to, like, and I'm just gonna run away to Mars because fuck this whole planet, like, this all sucks. He doesn't even explode Ozymandias. Like, he explodes Rorschach. Like, there's so many things that I think a matter-changing god could have done to assist in this situation before it got to this point, and even after this point, that he just doesn't do.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most important thing that I'm kind of picking up from with this discussion in this list, is the fact that with these characters that have such incredible, with great power comes great responsibility, Campbell, and basically also...
Is that an original quote? Did you come up with that?
Yeah, I did actually. I felt inspired. I think it rolls off the tongue. And I think that it's really important as well to be able to write a very good either ending or outcome or downfall or what these characters would actually do with said power. And a lot of the times they seem to reach a point in a story where they could have used their powers, but they just didn't think to. And that leads to a very unsatisfying watch. It's weird how common that is.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Anyway, Lennon, what is your fifth and final pick?
Well, speaking about characters that have power but were basically written not to use them, I've got Kang from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay,
Quantumania. So,
nice.
Look, Kang is introduced as a multiversal conqueror, Cam, and someone that is so dangerous that he will eliminate his acting career. But Kang supposedly destroyed timelines, entire realities, and civilizations just completely boop, erased from existence. And then he lost to Ant-Man. Not with the Avengers, not with any of his god pals like Thor or anything like that. Just Ant-Man. And it's just a fist fight too. I think the real issue is scale. So because Kang was framed as, this grandmaster centuries ahead of everyone else, but in practice, I don't know, he just behaved like just a standard Marvel villain. And one episode that we've recorded, I did say that I like the idea of him being a little bit more disposable because he didn't necessarily have any superpowers or anything like that. His superpower was his mind, but there was just so many of him because he mastered the multiverse and transportation and all that stuff. I do like the idea of there being like just a metric fuck ton of him and he's like this overwhelming wave of just like an infinite amount of Kangs. That to me is really interesting, but the MCU didn't show that. Yep. And because he was only thrown into more or less basically two different MCU products, there was the Loki show and the Ant-Man movie. Because of that, he seemed incredibly disposable and just really, well, I guess it's the fact that he was taken out by Ant-Man just goes to show that he's really just not that great of a fighter or that impressive at scale as an enemy. And it just really sucks because I thought his performance was great, and I think that if he was given that Thanos scale portrayal or persona, the acting chops that Jonathan Majors had when he was portraying Kang, I thought he could absolutely fill those boots, but he just wasn't given the chance, and ultimately he was taken out incredibly easily. So yeah, I thought that was really disappointing.
You know how much of a fan I am of Doctor Doom. He's probably one of my favorite villains. I think it does a disservice that we're not getting a full Kang story to both characters, because now we got a very quick rushed Doctor Doom story. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's more talking about the outside of the Ant-Man dramas, but he's useless in the real world as well, I guess, is my point. All right, my fifth and final pick. Now this one is a very popular character these days because the series finale just finished this week as at time of recording, but I am talking about Pennywise the Clown. Now, Pennywise is an ancient eldritch being with reality warping powers. He can literally change reality or just make you see different stuff. He can kill whoever he wants. A common misconception, unless you really dig into the lore of all this, is he needs to kill, only people that are afraid of him, or, that's why he aims for children, because they're easier to scare. But realistically, he can kill whoever he wants. He seasons his meat with fear. Like it's just a nice seasoning. He prefers you to be afraid because he has this. He exists outside of time and reality and is this extra dimensional thing. So all those emotions are what sustains him in a way, but he can still murder you. In the Stephen King extended universe, yes, there are certain things that you can explain away because it's so convoluted. And I understand that the Losers Club from the movies, they have a certain part to play in the predetermined history of the universe. They're agents of Judd or whatever it is. They've got access to the Shining. I can't remember. It's some convoluted bullshit where they are always meant to kill Pennywise when they kill Pennywise. But also, in the series that we just had, he attempts to kill Richie, one of the kids' parents, to change. So he can change history. He's omnipotent. He's aware of his death, and he's waking up every 27 years to feed on fear and people and whatever the hell he's doing. Forget all that extra convoluted bullshit. Let's just look at what happens in the movies and without having to research Wikipedia for hours to figure out how the Losers Club actually did it. He has the power to turn into a giant spider person. He has a power to turn into your worst fear. He has a power to become a giant man swinging an axe. How did he not kill 5 children? He plays with his food too much. As soon as they became a real threat, as soon as they joined him down in the whatever the hell sewer system, they should have been murdered on sight. He should have been like, oh shit, dead. He is literally the strongest. I would say Pennywise the Clown, this might be a bit hot take, I would say Pennywise the Clown is the strongest person on either of our lists. I would say he's stronger than Dr. Manhattan even.
Really?
Well, Dr. Manhattan has full power over like everything in this universe. Like he has full power of like the atomic structure of everything, Pennywise the Clown has reality warping powers. Dr. Manhattan would change, some atoms or something, and then Pennywise would just turn them into bubbles. Like he exists outside of this universe. He's an extra dimensional creature. So I would say that scales above universal power. And he can't kill children. Like he can't kill these kids. Most overpowered character gets bullied to death. dumb, so stupid. Looking back at this list, I am getting fairly frustrated thinking about the squandered characters that we have within it, but I think there are some that are fairly valid, like, you know, Boba Fett and Quicksilver. They definitely could have done more. But then if I really take a step back and have a look at what we've got in front of us, we wouldn't have movies without some of these characters being nerfed. For example, Dr. Manhattan and Pennywise the Clown, they would have sold... If Pennywise the Clown could have just killed the kids, he would have just killed the kids. We wouldn't have a movie to talk about. Dr. Manhattan, if you just realized what Ozymandias was up to, we wouldn't have a movie to talk about. So yes, I am frustrated about some of these. Then again, do really like the Pennywise, the It franchise. So I guess he does have to be killed by 5 kids when they all grow up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up our list. Stick around next week because I'll be picking up a topic that might not annoy me so much.